Our next guest is Larry Sharpe, a former teacher, businessman, Marine Corps vet, go Marines, and also a native New Yorker. He is the 2018 Libertarian candidate for New York State Governor and is here to discuss entrepreneurship and jobs for the African American community. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So there are so many millennials that I think are attracted to the libertarian message. Tell us why.
Because we're super cool.
Yeah, but tell us, what is it about entrepreneurships and jobs that leads you to being a libertarian? How do you tie it all together?
The issue here we're finding is what's tearing us up or what's making a disruption in our nation right now is actually technology. It's easy. If you're on the left, you blame big corporations. If you're on the right, you blame immigrants. Those are minor. The biggest thing is technology. Two of the biggest jobs that we have in the United States is driver and server/clerk. And you've already seen driverless cars are coming. You've already seen the kiosks. It's already happening, right? So you add all of that together and you have a lot of disruption. How do you handle that? Well, the problem is government cannot be the answer. Government tries to fight technology. It does it all the time. We fought Uber, right? We fight Airbnb. Government fights it because it's status quo. People are saying it doesn't work. You add on top of that the idea that up to 40% of all Americans at one point coming up here in the next couple of years are going to somehow not be a traditional employee. You know, the idea of you having, I have a job that's going to go for 20 years, this is a fantasy now. It hardly ever happens unless you fall into government, academia, or some large organizations. I just did a talk at Columbia's high school prep school, right? Hi, Haley, if you see me. So yes, hi, Haley. And I told them about the same thing, and that is, look, the average person nowadays, particularly a youngster, they're going to have at least 5 careers. Not 5 jobs.
Oh, more.
At least. That's correct.
More for Morgan.
I've got 30 years in high school students, and I've had 5. So they're going to have at least 5 careers. It changes everything. The entrepreneurial spirit is the only way you can make that happen.
Right.
That's the idea of not deciding, I'm going to learn something so well that I'm amazing at it, because that goes away in 5 or 10 years. Not just that a computer takes that job. Data, while valuable, computers do it well. In fact, even managing, computers do well. Leading, computers don't do well. And entrepreneurship is all about leading, and that's the key.
So Larry and I were talking about something super interesting right when he came in, that millennials consider capitalism to be a bad word.
Yes.
How do we get there, Larry?
Absolutely,
How did this happen? Because we live in one of the most vibrant economies in the world.
Because most of us are fooled into believing that crony capitalism is actual capitalism. It isn't. Right? Very often we say, well, let's open this market up, let's open this market up. But let's have government regulate it so much to where it's not really open anymore. And a good example of this for the African American community is licensing. Right? We have tons of licensing issues in New York State.
Especially at the local and state level, everywhere.
There's a license to braid hair. Right?
Really?
Now, yes.
And for florists.
To walk a dog.
Yes,
I'm not joking. These are things that we have. Now, here's a problem. If you're wealthy, who cares? If you're poor, or worse, if you have a criminal record, you can't get a job, you can't start a, how can you get
the licensing issues like disincentivizes people of color and poorer people.
Anyone who's in trouble is going to suffer from a license. And here's a good rule on licensing. Very simple rule you should be thinking about. Would you ask your friend to do it? Would you ask your friend to walk a dog or braid your hair?
Sure.
Why is there a license?
Can I braid your hair?
Would you
ask? You can. It's not very long, but you know.
Yes, no license required. But would you ask your friend to say, take out your gallbladder?
No.
No. Let's get a license for that. How about, that's a good general rule in what New York should be doing and what the whole country should be doing. Licensing often isn't even at all for safety. The vaping industry is a good example here in New York. We have licensing now for vape shops. Yes. Why? Now, if you were telling me that the license was because they need to learn something or have some kind of qualification, okay, maybe that makes sense. Like a driver's license, I get it. You have to have testing, you have to have an eye test, driver's test. I'm okay with that. The licensing for vaping right now is just to control the number of vape shops. All you have to do is apply. There's nothing that has to be done. It is simply unnecessarily government control. Why wouldn't you let the consumers decide? Let a consumer decide. If the consumers want the vape shop, they'll buy it. If they don't, they won't.
Well, we also have an overly litigious society as well that I think completely
We're
contributes
all
to
suing
it.
each other.
Absolutely. Yeah.